I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PixelPlay Podcast, your weekly podcast where we're supposed to talk about Xbox, but Xbox didn't want to cooperate. So now we're just gonna hang out for the next 30 minutes or so and just chat. We're also on Firewatch because Adam's apartment is or is not on fire yet. It's a very Schrodinger's cat situation. So we're gonna see how that plays out. So stick around for 30 minutes of what might quite literally be a dumpster fire.
Don't say 30 minutes out loud. Don't put that in the ether because you know this podcast is going to go 2 hours somehow.
Yeah, this is going to be the longest one of the year. Like, that's the thing.
I've jinxed it.
It's just going to happen.
I'm Kaylan,
either that or the
Chris,
smoke's
that's
going to
Adam.
billow into my apartment and then I'll just have to run and it'll be the shortest podcast we've ever had.
It's going to go one of the two ways, yeah.
That's,
As I said, I'm
happen.
Kaylan. That's Chris over there. Adam's, the house is on fire, so we'll see how this goes. We're a podcast. We talk about video games. Check it out wherever you got podcasts, blah, blah. You know what to do. Yeah. Guys, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We were all gung-ho. We're like, we'll talk about Xbox. What a week we'll have.
I was
We'll
going to
talk
wear
about
a
their new
green
strategy.
shirt and everything.
We all got screwed over.
Which would have
I
been
have an
funny because
Xbox
the only
hoodie.
green shirt I have is a Zelda shirt. So I'm like, Phil Spencer did want Nintendo, so I guess it still works.
I have an actual Xbox hoodie I was going to wear, and it's from Grounded, of all games that they put out merch for. I don't know
Why did
how.
you get a grounded t-shirt?
It came with something that I ordered from Xbox. Like, it was just kind of a thing they offered for me. I think somebody threw it in the box because they didn't want it.
Yeah.
It's a very 90s because this character, I think, I don't know, their name is Hoops because they also have a big cat playing basketball in the back of it because that's what the character wears in the game, I think. And it's very like pastel colors. It's very 90s because that's what the character is kind of vibing. So
Yeah.
expect a loud hoodie when we do the Xbox episode.
Yeah. Are you wearing that next week?
I will.
Okay,
I will,
good, 'cause I was gonna
yes.
say, if not, you have to go get it right now.
Yeah, I'll just that's the content. Me running away, coming back. I got it, guys. Like, it's just
got
5 minutes later.
Yeah, so we got nothing going on. I figure we'll just kind of hang out, talk about whatever we've been playing. I beat Assassin's Creed Mirage, so I'm done that.
Kaylan beat a game. That's already
He
progress.
beat a game. That's so good.
Quarter of the way through my yearly quota of finishing games.
Oh, look at
It's a
that.
big day when Kaylan finishes a game.
It is a big deal.
Yeah,
It is.
I liked it.
That should be
Overall,
ultimately an episode we do one day. It's just to introduce Kaylan to like less than 2 hour games that he can just breeze through so he can actually like have a actual list of games that he finished this year instead of just going, well, I almost got that one done. I still got to finish this. Still got to finish this. Still got to.
I've got like 7
Hey,
games
the
on
alarm's
go
gone.
right now.
We're not burning down anymore.
No, or the alarm has just burnt down. Like they got to the
Okay,
alarm.
there's that too.
The alarm's like everyone who's out, who needs to be out is out. You're all.
I'm
stopped
okay
now.
with this though, because now I don't have to try to understand you guys while hearing every second. It's like, oh god. At least I have the door shut, so it's not so bad. Now I'm like, okay, it's fine. For context, this apartment building is notable for always having either somebody's pulling an alarm or someone like haphazardly like slightly burn something in their kitchen, and that causes us all to have to leave for 2 hours. And I've just learned to not care anymore.
No.
Yeah. That's the one thing I do not miss about apartment buildings is like the constant fire alarms and fire drills that you had to have. Like, because I used to have a cat, and there was nothing worse than like trying to figure out if it's a smoke alarm, like a false alarm, or if your house is actually on fire, and reaching out under a bed to grab an agitated cat, like to bring
Yeah,
with
good
you.
luck.
It's not a fun experience. Yeah, no, it's not a fun
No.
experience.
No, it's not
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah, and it's like fine. You want to burn, and like you'll have like 8 more lives.
That's true. Cat wakes up in the completely burned down building. Well, that's
Just gets
one.
up, shakes
Where's
off.
everybody? Where'd everybody go? Oh god.
So, but yeah, no, I liked Assassin's Creed. I thought it was really good. Probably one of the stronger Assassin's Creed games. I liked Basim. I had no idea what was really going on with the story, but I mean, you don't need to with Assassin's Creed. It's just, hey, these guys wear masks. Go stab them in the neck, and it's like, okay, cool, good enough. Yeah, it kind of like did not go the way I thought it would at the end. It brings out its typical sci-fi end of the world BS thing, and I have no idea what's going on with that, but I don't care anymore. Yeah, like they're trying to go for this whole thing, and I have no idea what that was all about. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but yeah, there is that sci-fi bullshit that I hate with Assassin's Creed, but it's pretty much just tacked on at the end, and you don't need to worry about it at all. You can just have a fun game of just being assassins stabbing the Order.
Don't worry, based on how things are sounding like, you'll get to do it all over again towards the end of this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be the
Rumors
second
are
most
to be
popular.
believed. You're going to be playing Assassins of Tsushima by I think it's like November was the rumor.
No, I thought it was next year Assassin's Creed's coming out. This year Star
I don't know.
Wars.
I've seen stuff recently that said it actually is going to come out this year. So
Can we also talk about the fact that Skull and Bones is apparently coming out like imminently, and it's in a beta right now?
It's already getting reviewed.
Oh, is it? What's like? I've not seen it.
Well, it's not. There's nothing on Metacritic yet, but I mean, some people have said it's basically Black Flag, and not
I've
really
heard-
saying much else about it. Which is not saying it's the good parts of Black Flag. It's just saying it's certainly Black Flag.
In the
That's
sense that
'cause-
it's a pirate game.
And
That's
a
about it, yeah.
quadruple A title.
Yeah,
guys.
let's
it's
not-
quadruple A.
What does that mean?
It means it's
It
that
means
good.
overpriced garbage. That's what it means.
I just like, I get it. Like, you can't come out and be like, "Hey, our game's shit." But how do you come out and say Skull and Bones is a quadruple? Like, you're creating a new tier. You're like, "Hey,
it's like that moment in The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is trying to get them to take 115%. They're like, that's impossible.
it's like, hey, you know, like that garbage AAA shit like GTA 6 and Last of Us? Fuck that noise. We've got quadruple A Skull and Bones, a new tier of video games."
It's
I
so
mean-
good. It's an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, like
I'm
it's
just
gonna
wondering-
be so good. It has to.
There's only one that they have to justify that extra A somehow.
Yeah.
I thought they were
Unless
more
it's
just
like
trying to justify the $79.99 price tag because I don't think a lot of people were willing to pay it.
No, they're not.
Ubisoft games are notorious for dropping in price fast. This one I think is going to drop like a stone.
Yeah,
No,
I think this
well,
one.
the real question is does it drop faster than Suicide Squad has? Because Suicide Squad dropped like 30% in some markets before it shipped.
Hey, at least Suicide Squad has like the, hey, you like these characters. Skull and Bones is like, hey, do you like? There were some people I saw on like Reddit and friends who were like, but I wanted to see what happened. I'm like, you wanted to know what happened in Kill the Justice League? Like, I could take a swing at what happens in Kill the Justice League.
They live.
Nothing.
There's
And
not.
you know why
pirates,
it's
I'll tell you
nothing?
that.
Because you're not playing the game, so you're not going to find out.
Yeah, no one's playing that. So with Assassin's Creed being done, I've now moved on to Hi-Fi Rush. That game is a awesome game with a weird. I don't know how I feel about the rhythm aspect, because when I first started playing, I'm like, this is annoying because I'm just going in my head, just going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like getting D level like grades on my rhythm, and
It took a while for me to adjust to it.
Yeah.
And I am like
Now I'm
a very
starting to get it.
rhythmic guy. It took
Yeah.
a little while.
Yeah, I was playing it, but
Yeah.
now I'm like, I've beat the first level. I think they call them like tracks. So I beat track 1, and now I'm doing track 2, and I think I'm about like almost there. I think I love it. Like the graphics are fun, like amazing. The Chai is like one of the funniest like protagonists I've ever seen in a video game.
The best
He
boss
is
battles in a
so
game
good.
I've played in a long time.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I love his kind of. He very much reminds me of like Fry from Futurama, and I just
Yes.
love that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
the happy
playing that.
dumb idiot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that game's so good. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon, but
It's
like
so
you're
good.
playing it.
It
Yeah, all the
really
good
is.
feels. Yeah.
Which makes me want to high five. You know what, Netflix? I still won't get you, but you know, I'll happily figure out how to get otherwise a Hi-Fi Rush animated series. I'm in.
I feel like that would do really well.
That would, if they got the
Maybe
original
that.
voice
Maybe
cast,
that's what Phil Spencer's coming out on Thursday to say is, hey, guess what? Hi-Fi Rush
Yeah.
is coming to a new platform, Netflix.
I'm in.
Yeah. Like that's everybody's thinking like, oh, it's coming to PlayStation. Like, why are you guys talking about PlayStation? We're making shows on Netflix, starting with Hi-Fi Rush. We're
Yeah.
doing a Starfield movie. Like, calm down. I don't know.
That's what I've been playing. Other than just watching all these, like, have you guys been seeing these TikToks from Helldivers? It is so funny. They've got like, what's the guy from King of Queens? What's his name?
What oh my god.
James? Or no, is that his
Yeah.
name in real life?
Whatever. Paul
the one I
Blart.
know.
They got Paul
Yeah.
Blart,
Yeah,
and he
Paul Blart.
does that thing where he's doing like the Indianapolis like five or like the Indy 500, where it's like, gentlemen, like it's the most like over the top thing, and they just do the diving into the Helldivers, and it's just brilliant marketing because I just want to play that game so much.
Kevin James.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Kevin
My
James.
brain was screwed
Kevin
up so
James.
bad. I kept saying Jim Belushi. I'm like, no, idiot. He's not here anymore.
No, I like how I went with
Yeah.
James. I'm like, it's in there.
Yeah.
It's his last name.
You are
You
wrong.
go with the Jeopardy. Who is James?
Who is James? That it.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm so smart.
Chris, what have you been playing?
Well, speaking of Helldivers, me and Adam actually played a bit of Helldivers last night. I won't talk much about it because I'm sure Adam has a lot to say.
It's bad.
No,
I mean, good.
yeah, right.
Good.
Come on,
It's very
like
good.
one of the great. It's so fun. It's just delightful video game funness. But I won't talk too much about that. I've actually been playing a few things. Most of it because of Adam, I think. Like Midnight Suns, I've still been playing on my Steam Deck. Oh, that is just like, it's the dream. Like playing that game on the Steam Deck, it is addicting. It is a problem. You just keep going back into it. But the game I really want to talk about that I've been playing, and I played through and I'm done with it. I had my week. I needed just like the simplest of games. Just, this is a video game. This is not trying to imitate real life. This is not trying to be art. This is not trying to be anything. This is just like a video game. And I found exactly what I needed and I loved it. I don't know if anybody's played Vampire Survivors. I've played that before. I loved it. Just that automated game where, you know, you're picking up collectibles, like upgrades and stuff for your character and kind of figuring out what you want your build to be like, and they're automatically attacking you, just moving around. I love Vampire Survivors. Have it on the Steam Deck. It's amazing. I wanted more of that. But I already played a lot of Vampire Survivors, and I found another one. And it was just added to Game Pass, believe it or not. So if anybody wants to play it, you can either buy it on Steam right now for $4, or just load up Game Pass and you can play it. And it's called Bro-tato.
Oh, I've heard of Potato.
Bro, because they're a bro, but also they're just a potato. And it's Vampire Survivors, an alien invasion, and you're a potato. And because potatoes are potatoes and don't go by human anatomy, they have like 6 arms, I guess. So you can have up to 6 weapons equipped to these things. It totally makes sense. And this potato is going to defend 20 waves of these aliens to save, I don't know, the square that they live on. I have no idea. There is no real story. Choose your potato, live for 20 waves, and there's like 5 or 6 difficulties. And it is so damn good. Oh my god. If anybody likes this style of game, it runs on anything, I have to imagine. It is very cartoony. Vampire Survivors had like a Castlevania like NES look or so. This is like a hand-drawn cartoon that can move. Like it looks like The Binding of Isaac or something along those lines. Holy crap. I beat every wave of difficulty. I tried out a bunch of the different potatoes. I was on like Bro-tato Wiki or something like that. I don't know. I was in some website where it was giving me all the strategies. And holy hell, is that game? It has like 50 different potatoes. And the only reason I had to stop is because if I stayed in there, I wouldn't have left. They had an achievement for like earning every potato, like unlocking them, because you have to do certain things to unlock new ones, and then beat the game with every single potato. And there's like 50 of them. And each wave, like the 20 waves takes about 20 minutes to do. Not too long, but oh my god, if you're just looking for a fun video game where you can choose like a mage potato, or like a crazy potato, or a lazy potato, or a night potato, or an old potato, or a sick potato. There's so many different ones. And then you just get to pick your weapons as you go, round from round. And it is ridiculous, and it is beautiful. Oh my god, it's such addictive gameplay.
This looks amazing.
It is so much fun. And it's on Game Pass, so you don't have to pay anything to hop in there. But if you want to buy it, it's on sale on Steam right now for $4, down from $5. And that's the game. That's the whole cost of the game. And don't get me wrong, it's not, I wouldn't have paid like $50 for this. Maybe now I would have because I love it, but it knows what it is. It's like Vampire Survivors is like a $6 game. This is a $6 game. It's the same idea. You can play it for hundreds of hours, but it really is just this one concept. You play these 20 waves. If you die, you instantly go, I can do better next time. And then you try again. And then you die again, and then you're like, I'll try again. And eventually you win the game like 30 times like I did, and I'm like, I've done my part here. And I uninstalled it, and I walked away. Like that was it. Like I played it for a week, and I walked away. But yeah, the concept is great. The music is just addicting for what it is. The potatoes are hilarious. The concept is hilarious and fun. But I mean, in this game, what matters the most is the gameplay loop, and it is spot on. If you like that type of game, it is spot on. It is a vampire survivors game with potatoes.
That's awesome.
I highly suggest it. Highly suggest it.
Adam, what about you? Other than Helldivers, you been playing anything else?
Yeah, still working my way through Yakuza. I'm now 60 hours in with no end in sight, and I'm also, for those who have either played through Infinite Wealth already or are at least a little bit into the story and have heard a specific plot point that is quite saddening to hear. I am at a point in the game where the longer I play, the more and more I'm becoming accepting, but also still very sad about what's potentially waiting for me at the end. And I'm trying not to think about it. As you know, I go around beating the shit out of people while dressed in ridiculously over the top costumes and beating them with mops and whips and everything else. And then also taking a momentary break so I can go back to my Animal Crossing island to make some more money. But no, like, I'm still enjoying every bit of that. I was pretty concerned that I wasn't going to finish it before the 27th for Rebirth, and I thought I was in good company. And now Helldivers 2 came out, and I got it, and now I'm right back to being like, there's no goddamn way I'm going to finish Yakuza in time now, because I can't devote all my time to this game, because Helldivers is so freaking good. I think we're planning on saving Helldivers 2 for the side quest. Should I just be brief for now? Okay.
Yeah, just give you a quick 30-second overview. But yeah, we'll do a deep dive in our side quest on Fridays.
So to make it pretty straightforward to people here, do you like Starship Troopers? Okay, good. You'll love this. Oh, what's that? You're not really a Starship Troopers guys? Do you like killing things like giant bugs and shit and robots? Okay, you'll like this. Oh, what's that? You're unsure about that? Do you like a live service game that isn't a piece of shit and actually is pretty fair about how its microtransactions are done? Yeah, this is about as good as it's going to get. I'm very confident, both me and Chris now are very confident that when we rated this as an A grade on our chart and Kaylan put this as a B, I'm pretty confident we're going to be making good on that one, which is fine because we need the point because Tekken's still holding at 90 and Kaylan is walking away with that one. So we need whatever help we can get.
Fucking Tekken. Not what I was expecting. Obviously.
But like straight up, like I've been essentially okay with the idea that multiplayer games are just not my thing anymore, except in like very small bursts, like your Jackbox games or other things like that, where you can like obviously Chris, you and I in our group, we've played like Killing Floor here and there. Like it's our Christmas ritual now to like play on the Christmas map and Killing Floor towards the holidays, like stuff like that. But like in terms of something to consistently stay in, that there's actually progress and a challenge to, there wasn't really that thing for the longest time, because I've been burned out on Destiny for quite a while. I've said this a number of times now. And in the last, 6 weeks of this year already, Lethal Company has become a huge mainstay on me. And now Helldivers 2 has come out of the woodwork and decided, no, you still like game as a service games, just all the other ones are not the ones you're looking for. It's just specifically Helldivers that actually does its job, because it's $50 Canadian. I think it's $39.99 for Americans.
Yep.
The microtransactions, they have a premium battle pass, but you can unlock it normally with free by just playing the free versions of free parts of the game. I've played 11 hours according to PlayStation, and I already have 40% the way to get the battle pass with the currency I've made. So, and even like if I wanted to get some of the costumes they put in the Superstore, I can already afford them at this point. You know, I don't have to drop $10 to go grab some stuff. It's not a necessary thing anymore. So I look at this game and be like, this is what every one of these games should be. If Avengers was not nearly as tanky and over the top, or if Suicide Squad, I don't know, had a fucking good idea, we might be taking a different opinion on these things. But instead, when everybody else is getting burned out of every game, I mean, look at what Foam Stars is doing, aka what it's not doing. I think it's already lost to time and space.
It's the problem when you put it right beside Helldivers, 2 live service games back to back.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a problem if Foam Stars wasn't a giant pile of shit from what I've read. By the way,
No.
I installed it and then immediately uninstalled it as soon as I played Helldivers and said, nope, I don't need you. Bye.
That's the problem. We already have a multiplayer game. You put too many beside each other, PlayStation.
Well, when you see the reviews for Foam Stars where they say it's basically Splatoon except actually good, and also it is really bad on its microtransactions, I go, I don't care that you're free. Fuck off. We're done.
Dude, this is the problem. I am watching Helldivers right now, and I want to buy it so bad. But the other problem is if I buy it, I also have to buy PlayStation Plus, and I really don't want to do that again.
No.
It's worth it, though. It's worth it.
I know.
Look at it this
I
way.
know.
Helldivers is only $50, and if you get PlayStation Plus, it technically still isn't the price of a full game.
I know. But once again, we're coming back to the problem. I have too many games to play. I have like 3 games on the go right now, and I've got a bunch in my backlog too.
3 games. Those are rookie numbers, my friend.
Amateurs.
I have 3 games playing right now as I sit here.
The only reason I don't have 3 games ongoing is because there literally is no room.
Yeah, like right now I've got Hi-Fi Rush on the go. I have Mario Wonder still on the go, and I've got Tears of the Kingdom still on the go. So,
Wow.
like they're big games.
They are.
And now I'm like, hey, do I want to add a live service game to it? I'm like, damn it, I do.
You do.
Hey, thankfully,
This
like
one-
this game isn't, at least so far. I don't know what they're gonna add as content goes forward, but this is a very easy game to like drop in and drop out of.
This just
And
looks like
even if you don't play that much, like obviously Kaylan, with you having far less time, like I could be level 19. I'm currently, I think, level 9 right now, and you could be level 3. There's still plenty of shit we can find for you to do. It's not
Nice.
there's not like a gating thing. To this point in time, as far as I know, there's nothing that's level gated. It's just the difficulty. So realistically, I'm just not going to pull you into the 7th difficulty level. We'll do like difficulty 3 or 4 at the most.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this looks like something I just want to play on the Portal in bed. Like it looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
I will say
oh, yeah.
it's not a great solo game. I find I think having other people makes it a little bit better, but you can just quick play and join other people's lobbies in public, so there's still that option. But like as a solo experience, it can be very frustrating because it's, you know, even unless you're like really really good, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by the amount of enemies that can be on screen, and you just don't have the firepower to take them out constantly. But you got a couple of randoms in your lobby, yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just had so much fun with Helldivers, the first one when it came out. Like that, I was telling Jen, like that's one of my favorite memories of playing video games because it was me and her, and then another couple that like had the game, and we were playing like 2 couples over console because it used to be able, like it used to play split screen, and oh my god, it was just so chaotic playing with Jen, and it was the best because like me and the other guy, like we were good, like you know, we played video games and knew what we were doing. His girlfriend at the time, like she was good and knew it. And then there's Jen, who like had never played like anything like this before, and would just like shoot. Like at one point, she got the laser gun, which basically just swept and cleared everything off that it was pointing at. And she would be like, we'd be like, Jen, turn left, and she'd be like, what? And just boom, wipe everybody out. And like somehow she kept getting her hands on the mechs and kept stepping on everybody. It was just a gong show watching her play. Like it's really
I will
awesome.
say, just because of how much I'm enjoying this game, I'm tempted to at some point go back and play the original just to see what it was like before.
Oh, you never played the original one?
No, I never. I think it was back at that age where like I didn't pay attention to a lot of not AAA stuff back then, so it was never on my radar.
Yeah.
I knew
got
of
the
it. I
first
remember
one.
seeing it on the store like a few times, but it just never clicked to go and try it.
Yeah. I have it on Steam. You can get it for cheap during a sale.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be difficult to get a copy of. That's for sure.
I think you
No.
can get it like at GameStop now for like $5.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You can't get anything at GameStop for $5.
How much is that? I'm gonna check right now.
You give them stuff for $5. They don't give you stuff for $5. I say that
also the
because every
characters
time
just
I walk
looks-
into a GameStop these days, just to see what's there physically, I go, "Oh yeah, this is why I download everything digitally now, because there's no fucking deals here."
guys, I can get a physical copy of Helldivers. I can add to the collection. The old man in me is like, ooh.
Do
No,
it.
I want this one. I want this one on the hard drive so I can jump in and out.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this had
It's definitely the kind of game that you can pop in for an hour or two, play a couple of games, and then a week later, if you decide that you want to go pop back in, you can do that, and you ain't missing shit.
No.
Oh, apparently I can't find Helldivers 1. All they bring me to is Helldivers 2. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's what
There's a-
Steam's for.
Like we played a map last night that was 10 minutes. It literally was a 10-minute mission or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
there are some mission
survive
types
a
where it's
couple
more or
waves.
less like a horde mode in a very small space rather than the bigger maps.
Yeah, how
and
long are how long is the average mission roughly?
If you're doing like an average one, the max you can do is 40 minutes, but generally speak, unless like, okay, look at it this way. You can either just do the missions and get in and get out, and that can be like 10 to 20 minutes, or you can try to go around the map and clear out all the nests. You can scavenge around because there are just random little hotspots around the map that you can find that might contain things like, you know, special guns or currency, like your the money that you spend to buy more things like orbital lasers or grenade launchers or things like that, or even premium currency. You can come across the premium currency on the map too. So, you know, you can take as long as 40 minutes. I think there is a little bit of leeway because you also have like an extraction process at the end of a mission. So you might be able to go past 40, but it generally caps you at 40.
Okay, cool.
But like more often than most of the missions that I do usually take between 20 and 30 minutes. That's
Okay,
because
that's
we
fine,
are going
that's fine.
around and like trying to clear as much as we can until we're nearly out of lives and go, let's not push our luck.
That's not egregious. Cool. God, these characters just look so cool.
They are. Oh, they really are.
I was really, really excited to play this game, and I'm glad it's one of those things where I was hyped for and wasn't disappointed. Like, I'm so glad that I pulled the trigger, because randomly I was just talking with one of my friends about how I really wanted to try it, but I've got Yakuza and I've got freaking Final Fantasy waiting. Also, Persona 3 is sitting on Game Pass waiting for me. And as obviously Chris will know, the Suikoden successor, Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, is out in April. So JRPG-wise alone, I'm fucking booked. So I'm like, how am I going to find time for shit, let alone all the other things that are releasing in the next 3 months too that aren't JRPGs? And then eventually he was like, well, you know, I might take a look at it. And I'm like, son of a bitch, all right, fine, I'll buy it. And, you know, 3 hours later, I'm like, I'm so happy I did this. This is so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we discovered something very cool technology-wise, too, me and Adam yesterday, which I knew had kind of happened, but I didn't know it was this good. And that's Discord, having the ability to connect to the PlayStation or connect to an Xbox. So Adam was playing, and he was playing with a friend who was on PC, because the crossplay on the game is fantastic. You can just link up with people in the same squad. You just kind of use the friend code system.
As a note
so
for
I
people,
joined-
cross-save isn't a thing yet, but it sounds like it's something they're looking into, but it's not. So if you're looking to play like on 2 different platforms, pick one and stick with it for a little while, because it sounds like you might not be able to transition it, but...
Pick a lane.
Yeah, gonna have to pick a lane. But yeah, so Adam was playing, and I was like, oh, I'll join. But, you know, everybody else has, you know, one guy's playing on his computer. He's at a desk, got Discord going. Adam's on his PlayStation. They're talking on Discord because it's easier. 2 different platforms, right? So I joined, but my PlayStation's on a couch. So I'm sitting on a couch, and I'm like, how am I going to, you know, voice chat and everything? So I went on Discord just on my phone. I put in my little AirPods, and I'm like, cool, I'll just mute the game and not enjoy myself. No, I was going to enjoy myself, but I wouldn't be able to hear the game. And then all of a sudden I open Discord on my phone. I've joined the call. I'm talking with Adam and his friend. And all of a sudden my phone's like, hey, your PlayStation's on. Do you want to transfer the call there? And I'm like, what? I press the button, and it just, you have to link like Discord to your PlayStation account and link it to your Xbox account and all that kind of stuff. You press the button, you're on, all of a sudden the voice chat that normally the PlayStation uses is actually in a Discord call. And you can see the Discord call right in your dashboard or whatever it's called, right on the PlayStation, and you join it as normal. So then I threw on my 3D Pulse headset, and all of a sudden I'm in a Discord call on my PlayStation and playing Helldivers. And that was seamless. Like, I did not realize Discord had this functionality, and it's like now going to be my way to just chat with anybody. It's like, yeah, let's play on PlayStation. Go on Discord, and then we can push it over. That way, if anybody else isn't on PlayStation, they can hop in. Or Xbox, same thing. Maybe crossplay where somebody's playing a game on Xbox, one on PlayStation. Like, I couldn't believe how seamless it was. It was amazing.
I was very mad when they finally said they were getting it to PlayStation, because I'm like, great, now that I have this amazing desk where I have 3 monitors, I have my PlayStation and my Xbox over here connected to my center monitor, and I have my PC for Discord with this microphone and everything set up. I'm like, great. So now when I could have used you when all my friends were on Discord, instead of having a laptop next to me with headphones, but also I have no way of getting the game audio in my ears, so I have it quietly on the TV so I can barely hear it. And I'm just like, Of course, now that I don't need you anymore, it's here. But I guess, for guys like Chris, I guess you're allowed to have something. I'm still mad though.
It is the setup. All I got to figure out is how to do this on the Steam Deck, and I'm golden. Holy hell. I will be gaming with all of you, but I'll be in bed. And none of you will know until I go, hey guys, I'm in bed. And that's all I will tell you. And I will
be like, guys, I'm pooping.
Yeah.
We're playing Helldivers too, Chris. We shit our pants every mission.
But I'm literally no. Yeah. So really cool that Discord has that. I didn't believe it would be that good, and it was really good.
That's awesome.
It is the kind of thing that we're like noticing is that like obviously with a lot more cross-play games and the platforms kind of being a little bit together, and Discord now especially being a big part of that is it really genuinely feels like we're finally at a time where like there's no way that you're not connected to everybody in the gaming community anymore, unless you're like on a very niche device or a very niche game that just is like a little more archaic and doesn't have these options. But like now, it just seems like there's no better time to be a game. And we say this all the time because I mean the game selection is amazing these days. Our technology is as good as it's ever been. But like, man, as a gamer, like all the stuff that we have now, like I can't imagine telling myself like when I was playing on like Xbox 360 over Xbox Live, or even before that, playing Counter-Strike Source and talking through TeamSpeak on like my Windows XP PC back in the day, and thinking like, what it'll be able to do? You'll be able to play a game on your PlayStation. Somebody will be playing that same game on PC, and you'll be talking to each other seamlessly, like there's nothing to it. I'd be like, get out of here, Magic Man. Stop doing this crazy talk here. That's never going to happen. We're still trying to figure out how to make internet connections that, can download faster than 10 megabytes per second. Come on.
Also, the fact that you just called me dropped my internet. Stupid dial-up.
Sorry, I got to take a phone call.
Man, I remember how much of a pain in the ass it used to be to like hook up to play with people online. Like I remember playing Command and Conquer online and like trying to find like set it up so you can play Command and Conquer, and you're like going through ICQ so you can kind of like set it up there. It was a hassle back then. It took like 30 minutes to set it up.
Oh yeah. My biggest one was Command and Conquer as well. You could actually dial in to the other person's computer.
Yep.
And you had to like go into the network, type in their phone number, or whatever it was, IP address maybe. You dialed into their computer and you could chat to each other. You couldn't see what you wrote, but they could see what you wrote, and it was like you were having a conversation. And then you could play Command and Conquer together. And I remember thinking, I'm in the future. I can't believe how amazing this is. Like, what the hell? Like, there's no way I'd do that now.
I mean, shit, Chris, do you remember crazy. Like that attachment that you had for your PlayStation if you were going to play Final Fantasy 11 online?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you had to get that big brick of an Ethernet.
Yeah, like that hard drive?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, like, you kind of got me thinking when we were, well, this is going to sound weird, but when we were talking about Chris pooping while he was playing Helldivers with everybody. But like,
and you say I'm the weird one. It's true though. I am the weird one.
I was just thinking, like, I wasn't thinking too hard, Chris. Don't worry, it's not getting weird. But like, are we in a golden age of portable gaming? Like, it's kind of weird because you would have thought, like, even like 3 years ago, you'd be like, portable gaming is dead. Once the Vita was gone, we were like, this is dead. Nintendo is doing its own weird thing, but like, I think that we're at the point where we're in the golden age of portable gaming. Like, PlayStation's firing.
Phil Spencer's got to announce the Xbox handheld on the 15th.
Nah, no one's missing that. But like, think about it. Like, Nintendo has a dedicated portable gaming device. PlayStation has a streaming device that is honestly incredible. We've got the Steam. Like, who would have thought in 2023, 2024, we would hit like peak like portable gaming? Like, not when we had like the DS, not when we had the Vita, like, because those were always like side tertiary kind of. Well, not tertiary, I guess, like secondary devices, where it's like an afterthought. We're at a point where it's like prime time for portable gaming, and do you think this trend's going to continue, or is it just like a flash in the pan kind of thing?
Oh, I think it's going to continue for sure. I think it might start to be the way that some people game. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's going to be like where less people are buying like maybe spending a little bit less on like building a PC or having as many home consoles, and they'll make one of their home consoles actually be something like an ROG Ally or a Steam Deck or whatever. Yes, there's the Switch. I don't think Nintendo will do it where it's like that's the only portable device people would really aim for, because again, it's weaker compared to other ones, and it's kind of it's in its own lane, right? It's doing its own Nintendo thing. But I think people are going to be gaming more portable. There's only one thing I disagree with you on, where it's like we're in the golden age of portable gaming, because they're no longer portable. These things are honkers. These are chunky. They're the Game Gear turned up to 11. They are like let's go, let's be this thing. Their size, but I mean, this is my favorite. I've been a big portable gamer since the original Game Boy. It was one of my preferred ways to always game. I had a 3DS, a DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy. I had a Vita. Like, I was all into the portable kind of scene. And yeah, I think this is, if you had shown me a Steam Deck when I was like gaming on my Game Boy Advance, where I was like, this is like a Super Nintendo in my hand, I'm living in the future, I would have my head would have exploded. Like, it's just insane where we are now with portable gaming. For example, Helldivers 2 runs well on the Steam Deck. Yeah, sure, you're at like 40 to 50 frames per second compared to 60 on the PS5, but I mean, you're playing in bed. Like, oh my God, like, how incredible is that you're playing possibly on Discord with your friends and playing this game on Steam in bed, or streaming it from your PlayStation or whatever it is, and you're just
or like
having
instead of grabbing a whole console with you, like you grab the Steam Deck with you, and if you're like, I don't know, like house sitting at somebody's place, if you're like at a gathering and you're just like, playing amongst yourself, or if you're like on the road or anything in a hotel room, and you can play like good quality games. And it's seamless. Like, it's sure. Is there a little bit of a suffering on the frame rate? Yeah, but like compared to what?
Trade-off.
Yeah, compared to what? Go back and play a 3DS game and watch that be like 15 FPS sometimes. And people were like, this is the best system ever made. Like, I
can pet the dog with the stylus.
We're still doing that now. Like, some people are probably playing Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch being like, this is the best experience I've ever had playing Mortal Kombat on a Nintendo console.
It might be, since the Super Nintendo, probably the best experience, because Nintendo's experience has been just...
Yeah, it's not like a Mortal Kombat 4 was a great one for most, so...
No.
Yeah.
But like, it's at the point now that I think that we had the golden age prior, when we had like the PSP and the DS, but now we're in like, I guess what we could call like an eternal platinum age, where I don't think it gets any better, but it doesn't get any worse. Because I think now, like, we're going to have consoles that are constantly like... Assuming Steam Deck continues to sell the way it does, it's just going to keep upgrading slowly. The prices will still either be the same, or they might get a little bit lesser as we figure out how to make these things more efficiently. Nintendo, might sort of catch up. We'll see what happens when the Switch 2 finally gets announced. The rumors, apparently it's going to be announced in March, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I've made a lot of predictions that have not come true about when that's getting announced.
Oh, we found it out last year, or we found it when we looked at all our predictions last year. We got nothing right. So, what do we know? I think it's just at a point now that because Steam Deck exists, like if we just assume that from here on out Steam Deck always exists, we are never going to lose this platinum age, because the amount of games that we have today just trump every other age that we've ever had. And it's not like games are going to get less. I feel like we're just going to continue this trend of there being so much out there. And as long as these consoles continue to ship, it's never going to get any worse. Like, it's just a matter of how much better does the tech get. That's really what it seems to be coming down to now. And it's just, I guess the only other difference is does anybody else add to the field of competitors? Because right now it's Nintendo on their own island, Steam Deck's on its own island, and portable is like a nice like accompaniment to a console you already own. So if like Xbox adds something of their own, or if somebody completely different like comes into the Steam Deck game and goes like, hey, we can do this too, and we'll do it at like $100 cheaper, and it maybe ends up running a little worse than Steam Deck, but like we could see a stage where we now have competitors in that aspect, whereas right now it's a couple of islands among to themselves, and at this point, if that's how it stays, like, it's still great for people, because you have the cheaper option in Switch, you have the high price option in Steam Deck. Even Steam Deck technically has a cheaper option, because I think the 256 model is like $499 or something. If you want the terabyte, it's like almost $900 or something.
Yeah, they've kind of changed it up because of the OLED one. There's a 256 model, which is cheaper. It's like $400, but it's the old LCD screen. It's kind of like the old model. And then they have a 512 and 1 terabyte of the OLED.
Yeah,
so it goes up to like
256 LCD, $499, a 412 OLED for $689, and a 1 terabyte OLED for $819. That's Canadian.
Yeah, it does go up.
See, now swing this back to Xbox. Like, it kind of like I go back and forth as to whether Xbox is missing the boat on having a dedicated portable, because on the one hand, it would just make so much sense with Game Pass in the sense of like, hey, we got this we got this Xbox portable. We're gonna call it the XP or something like that, and you can basically get this and Game Pass, and you can play Game Pass wherever you want. Download the game onto the hard drive, you can go. The question is like, yeah, the Steam Deck kind of does that too, though. Like, I don't know. Do you think Xbox is missing something by not having a portable, or
I don't think so, unless they only have like a model that's on the cheaper end that could be like the Xbox Series S as a portable, like that level. I think that could work if the price was right, but otherwise, like at this point, if Game Pass for PC runs perfectly fine on a Steam Deck, there's really no, like, unless they're going to find a way to get into that market and be just slightly cheaper and give Valve a run for its money, maybe, but I feel like they're probably at the point that they're like, we're already wasting money hand over fist on our console sales that aren't doing nearly as well as PlayStation is. Do we really want to now throw a bunch of money at, a handheld console? I mean, we had the conversation last week. I don't think right now Microsoft as a company is happy with the amount of money that they've been shelling for console production that hasn't really come back in like a bigger amount. Same with game sales. I think at this point they should be more focusing on the experiences they're putting out, and then the consoles can come secondary. Because, I mean, right now, like, Series X's will sell if the game library is there. And I've been saying this for a while. Like, I got it just because I'm like, hey, it's great because I don't have a PC that could play their top-end games at the best possible frame rates, whereas this does. Could I get away with playing Starfield on my computer? Sure. It probably wouldn't be the greatest experience, though. So I have the Xbox. But, like, for most people, I don't think they see a reason to get a Series X right now. So I think now, like, I think the handheld's just like way down the line in their vision. I don't think they're really thinking about it right now. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll find out on the 15th that I'm way off on that, but I don't see that.
See, my thought is like, I feel like the X is probably overkill because, I mean, I've got the X and I played Starfield on it. I'm playing Hi-Fi Rush. Like, there's not a lot of games that I like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I bought the Xbox Series X to get the most power. Like, Xbox has great games, but they are not powerhouse games. They are not like incredibly beautiful games that, like, I feel like the S kind of holds it back, that you almost could just say, hey, you know what, we're dropping the X, we're doing the Series S, and we're doing a handheld, like, play the games anywhere. Because I think the S is kind of hindering the Series X and the extra money it costs.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I think they would be more likely to get rid of the S and the X at this point.
Yeah. When it comes to the portable, I think that Microsoft actually does have something they could do, but I don't think it's about them making their own portable device. Because the thing is you, Adam, you're talking about each, portable's on its own island. The Steam Deck right now has like 5 or 6 competitors, and like not everybody knows about these things because there's like the Legion Go Pro or something like that. Then there's the ROG Ally. There's this MSI Claw that's coming out that's Intel chip based, and there's the WinGP, which has always been around, and the Io Neo, and like there's so many.
If you're deep into it, you're aware, but I think more often than not, like, you might be able to have a couple of people that know the ROG Ally, and that might be as far as you go.
And that's just because that one's at Best Buy. That's why people can see that one. But all of those are Windows machines, and the reason, like, because Game Pass does not run on Steam Deck. Sorry, it's a Linux-based thing. You can't install the games. They have it where they give instructions how to play Game Pass, but all it is you install Microsoft Edge into the Steam Deck, and it loads the xCloud website, which is how you play the games.
So you're streaming them.
You're just streaming them. And having it downloaded would be amazing. And apparently Valve is going to have like a dual boot option where you can like choose if you want, like you'll either load up into SteamOS or Windows if you want to go play Game Pass or something. So it'll be available. But all these other machines are Windows based. And it's like, this is amazing because it can play now all these Game Pass games or the Epic launcher and all that kind of stuff. But when you load into these things, it sucks because you're dealing with Windows, like on a handheld. It's like a touchscreen laptop with no keyboard. Like, you're screwed. Yeah, it's bad. Now, like ROG and everybody, like, they've tried to make their own UI and stuff, but that doesn't stop Windows being like, hey, there's a driver that you got to install. Hey, there's this update. Hey, you need to do this. Load the Xbox app. And then you load the Xbox app, and it's the exact same one from a PC that's meant for like keyboard and mouse. And you're like trying to touch screen load stuff, and it's not great.
So what you're saying is Microsoft should ally with ROG.
There you go.
I
You're
mean,
right on board.
it makes sense.
It does. They should just make if they
Official
focus,
partnered.
yeah, and make a UI, a version of Windows for handheld consoles. There's now 5 different of them. They're competing with Steam. They're not doing nowhere near as well as Steam, obviously. Maybe the ROG Ally, but the thing is that if Windows had this portable UI version of itself, like all these devices have to pay Microsoft to get Windows on it. Imagine how much money Microsoft could make partnering with all of them and having this specific Windows UI. And it's like, hey, Windows machine, Windows machine, Windows machine. So they don't make the hardware, but they get to benefit off of obviously the Windows license and Game Pass subscribers that would end up being on the device, because they could even have it where Game Pass is built in to this portable version of Windows 11, because that's the purpose of it, right? It's for gaming. It's not for people like using Microsoft Word and checking their emails. This is a specific version of Windows. They've done it before. The Xbox UI is just a different version of Windows. That's why you can open like Microsoft Edge and stuff on your Xbox, and all of a sudden you have this weird mouse and everything, and you're running it. Like, they've designed this through Windows. They kind of, I think it was based off like Windows 8 or something stupid, but they could make a whole new version for these portable systems, and they'd be able to benefit from, you know, the software and gaming side, like financially. They wouldn't have to make their own system. All of these are already out there. And then if people start demanding it after that, it's like, this version of Windows is so cool, I wish Microsoft made their own version instead of the ROG Ally. I think that's when Microsoft takes a look and go, maybe we should just make our own handheld version or something. I
think that's a really good point. Like, I don't know if I do it with all of them, but if you find one of these like smaller competitors like the ROG Ally and say, hey, look, you know, you want to pay us a couple millions of dollars, you get like you become the dedicated Game Pass handheld. Like, it then makes the ROG Ally a lot more of a competitor in this space than just being the Wish version of Steam Deck. I'm not saying it's a bad version, but like, let's be real.
Yeah.
The ROG Ally is like what people go with when they're like, oh man, Steam Deck sold out or is really expensive. Oh, look, the ROG Ally. Like, it is what it is. Like,
I mean, also Microsoft is saving a lot of money on not having to also now produce a bunch of handhelds.
Well, I think ROG Ally would like pay them to do it, because ROG Republic of Gamer does not have a dedicated server system, so they're literally just looking to do a hardware sale. So they don't give a crap what's on there, whether it's Steam, whether it's Game Pass, whether it's Epic. Like, they do not have a horse in this race, so they would just be as happy to be like, yep, we're the dedicated Game Pass handheld now. Oh, by the way, you could also get Steam and whatever if you want, but, you know, Game Pass works out of the box.
Yeah, and like a good UI kind of idea, because again, the only good UI I have found for Xbox Portable is when you go into the xCloud website, because it is designed for like a controller. I think they designed it for people who are on their phones with like the backbone controllers and stuff, right? So they already designed it to look that way. That's why it looks and feels great on the Steam Deck. But yeah, you get a dedicated, like, you can install your Game Pass games here on the ROG Ally, which you can do that now. But I mean, like, it being actually like the official Xbox version, new UI is built that's designed for the machine and everything. I would be like, it would be a hard time for me to not buy it, because streaming the games is fine, but I was playing Brotato on my freaking Steam Deck, and I'll have an amazing stream for a long time, and then I don't know what happens to their servers. It glitches for like 5 seconds, and all of a sudden my potato moves across the screen because it finally caught up, and now I'm dead, because this game is not the type of game where you can just like let yourself stand still for 5 seconds and expect to live. So I had a run get ruined because I was streaming it instead of just playing it, right? So now I wouldn't buy an ROG Ally to play $4 Brotato on the go. I think I would just buy it on Steam for $4 at that point. But
now,
all the other games, I would.
I want to retract my statement, because I just looked on Best Buy, and do you know how much the ROG Ally is going for?
Actually, I think it's actually like $900 or something if you get the Extreme version, which apparently that's the only one people are buying now.
Yeah,
like the Z1 Extreme.
Yeah, so the Best Buy one, what do you think it is, Adam?
Can I get like any, like, even just look, what's the hard drive space on that thing?
So I will give you the description. So an Asus, I don't know how to pronounce it, ROG Ally 7-inch 1080p touch gaming console, AMD Z1 Extreme Radeon Navi 3, 16 gigabytes of RAM, half a terabyte SSD, Windows 11/Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
There's
it
two
is
answers
more
for what's on sale.
Normally, I
It is
would
on
say
sale,
around,
so
Oh, it's on sale.
normally I would say
Oh,
around $600, but because it's Best Buy, I'm gonna go around $849.99.
so you're close. So you're actually right down the middle. So right now it is on sale for $800. Normally $900.
Wow. Yeah, it is more powerful than the Steam Deck. It has Windows and it is more powerful. It can run Baldur's Gate at like a solid thing where Steam Deck required updates to get there, and I still think the third act is a little rough.
I retract my statement about the ROG Ally being the discount version of the Steam Deck. Let the record show.
They discounted up.
They Nintendo discounted.
Yeah. Yeah, you pay a premium for that. Yeah, but I am very happy with the portable market. I do love the portable gaming scene. I find it distracting in my house to see my Switch and my Steam Deck like on my couch when I could be reading a book or something, but then these two systems are like, play me. I'm right here. But other than that,
Reading.
Yeah.
I actually really had to sit down and think when the last time I actually like cover to cover finished a book, and I'm pretty sure it's been since high school. Because I've always been more of like a hear information guy. Like reading has never been my big thing. I've never, even when I was a kid, I wasn't even really into comics that much. Like reading just wasn't an interest to me. I always more enjoyed like hands-on with stuff or listening to things. Because like obviously it makes sense. I'm a big podcast guy, so
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got books that I've
Audiobook.
bought over the last little while. Never finished them.
What's this one? Strategy Guide, Final Fantasy VIII.
Does a game manual count?
Oh, I miss those.
I don't even think I finished. I don't even think I read those usually. I was just like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
God,
the game
you
manuals are the
monster.
best.
You monster.
You know who always had really good game manuals was Warcraft. Warcraft always had
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I think those were probably the pinnacle of game manuals was the Warcraft ones.
Those were really, really, really good. Blizzard knew what they were doing then.
Exactly. It was pretty
Oh,
much a
yeah.
novel in there.
Yeah. So exciting. I'd
I just
love to
remember,
open
like,
that up.
I have so many memories of just driving home from like the video game store and like reading it in the car in the dark, and you just like get like 2 seconds as you pass every street light.
That's how I used to play Game Boy in the car because
Yeah,
they
the
didn't
worm
have a
light.
fucking backlight. Oh, I did end up eventually getting that worm light thing that you could
Yeah.
attach. 100%.
Man, kids today don't know how good they have it.
No, they don't.
No,
Because
they
they're
don't.
just dialing into Discord on their phone and then getting it forwarded to their PlayStation.
While
It's
they're
okay.
pooping.
In 20 years, they'll be sitting in the chair being like, "What the fuck? Where was this when I was a kid?" And we're gonna be
God,
sitting there in
remember
our
when we
50s being like, "God damn kids!"
Remember when we had to play without a neural implant?
Yeah. Those were the days. You had to actually like earn winning, you know?
Damn, we making it to the cyberpunk days? Shit.
I mean,
I don't know if I
Elon Musk
want
has already
to.
put a chip in someone's head, so
Yeah, he's already there.
I mean, look, if we do the math, we got to live for what, another 43 years?
oh god.
You don't want to be the first person with the chip in your. You don't want the beta of that in your head. Look
Oh,
at
God, no.
Cyberpunk launched. That wasn't in someone's head. Imagine that was the launch of the device being
I don't know.
implanted.
If I'm in my late 70s, I'll take any chance I got to get a little bit, just to get some more life out of my time, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're Gen 1 chipped? Ugh.
Oh, that's
Every
how
year-
people will talk about it.
Every year there's a new model.
You still have an iPhone 3? Ew. Like that's going to be the same equivalent, but
Yeah.
like what chips in your head. This is a Black Mirror episode. We've turned this podcast into a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. It's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't even know if anyone's still listening to this at this point. I think everyone's just kind of clocked out. They're like, oh, there's nothing going on here.
Wait, we have people listening?
If you're
I mean,
still
like,
listening, leave a chat. comment in the chat.
I mean, I was sort of
Bots.
listening.
You should be listening the whole time. Good job.
I was joking. I was thinking about how funny it would be because, like, obviously we're recording this and we're gonna record our side quest before the Xbox like podcast thing comes out, and I was thinking, how fun would it be to just make an episode on Friday and try and make the most vague statement reactions to the Xbox conference? Just like, wow, can you believe that Phil Spencer came out and said that? Yeah, it's going to totally revolutionize the Xbox ecosystem. I really wonder how it's going to impact PlayStation. We're not going to see these ramifications for months, if not years to come. Just see how long we could go with just general statements before people clued in that.
Yeah, but now I gotta try and think about what I'm gonna say. Don't make me do actual work on this show. Come on.
That is true. We would have.
I wonder how long we could pull it off.
Hours.
Probably about 2 minutes before I start laughing my ass off.
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna be an episode for us. Like we nailed it. We crushed it.
Yeah, I think this was probably the best episode we've put out.
It's definitely an episode we put out. So
it's as good as Helldivers 2. So you know it was a good episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still listening, thank you so much for sticking around with us as we wait for Xbox to come out with its conference or podcast. Or yeah, it's just a podcast. What's up with that?
It's just the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll talk about that next week when we post our episode, which is every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you get your podcast. You can also search for us on YouTube, PixelPlay Podcast. We've got tons of episodes there. You can see our lovely faces as we record these episodes. If you want to be part of the team, if you want to join our Discord, you can find all that below at linktr.ee/PixelPlay Podcast. We have constant conversations going on there. Good group of people. If you want to join, it'd be all the better having you there. With that, I've been one of your hosts, Kaylan, aka Catastrophe, joined as always by Adam at CS Radical and Chris at Gin and Chris. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.